mate from yerbamateland.com, circleofdrink.com. Here we are again. I don't know if it got cut off in the beginning. Just back for another review, guys. What can I say? I love yerba mate. Drinking it 6.5 years, nonstop, every day, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. Yerba mate all day long. Yerba mate life. Yerba mate para siempre. Just keep it coming with these reviews. Mate to me is like wine. It is like any product of luxury, any product that has this gourmet aspect to it, or anything that you could just delve into. It's like an art. You know, you just get into it, you start drinking it. Some people love it right away. Boom, they're mate addicts, materos, mate lovers, passionate mate drinkers. And for some other people, it takes a while. The mate kind of just grows on them. They start to adapt to the bittersweet nature, the bittersweet taste of the mate. The mate begins to work on their mind, begins to work on their body. And before you know it, they're drinking mate all day long. Just how it goes, guys. All right, so today we're talking about Amanda. Amanda. It's spelled Amanda, but in Spanish, Amanda is the pronunciation. So this is a mate that I've been drinking for 6.5 years since I first got to Argentina. My first couple years in Argentina, I was just drinking basically anything I could get my hands on. Anytime I was in a mate circle, a gathering of materos, mate drinkers, mate enthusiasts, or just simply people coming together to drink mate, it would be common for anyone to drink any mate that anybody brought. Usually, nobody ever turned down mate. Just hardly ever happens. If they don't like mate, then they just won't drink it. But it's not like, oh, I don't like that brand, so I'm not going to drink it. Out of respect, people just drink anything that they're served. Amanda was a mate that I was served many times. It wasn't until about 2012, 2013, visiting New York, somebody gave me a box of Amanda from Abu Dhabi, and I don't think it made the journey quite well because it tasted like cigarette ash. It didn't taste good. It was super dry. It was super ashy. It wasn't good at all. So that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth and in my mind about Amanda. But I gave it another chance to make a nice review for you guys. I've been drinking it for the past week or so, becoming reacquainted. Rewind a little bit back, and in Argentina, some of you guys may remember, I did make a review before about Amanda about 4 years ago, actually. It was a Amanda Premium. They used to make a blue box of Amanda. They still may produce that mate. I don't know. It was a blue box. It was literally a box, and it was kind of bluish, and it said Amanda Premium. And I think the review might still be on circleofdrink.com, but the video definitely, I've taken it off. I gave that mate a pretty decent review. I remember saying that it was kind of pasty. It had like this pasta taste to it. You know, it's kind of streamlined. But here we go. This mate right here is the traditional Amanda yerba mate. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. But give me 1 second, guys. I just have to respond to a customer. That's how it is, you know, making videos, responding to customers. All right, guys. I'll just hooking somebody up with a coupon. So, Amanda, let's get back into it, guys. This mate is from the company La Cuchera. And it comes from Misiones, which is the northern part of Argentina. Most of the mate coming out of Argentina comes from the upper sectors of the country, Misiones, Corrientes, those sort of areas. This mate, of course, is your traditional classical Argentine yerba mate, but this mate is like no other mate, really. It's in class in its own. It's very unique, I would say. Now, right from the bat, I want to say that this mate, if you're looking for a crazy flavor, if you're looking for those kind of ups and downs and super robustness and all sorts of crazy things going on like you get out of a traditional classical Argentine yerba mate, look somewhere else. You're not going to find that in Amanda. Amanda is a very square, what I call square mate. Now, whenever I'm drinking a mate, call me crazy, but I start to develop this sort of relationship with the herb, and I start to kind of detect the energy. Every mate has a different energy to me, a different energy signature, just like how people have different energies, different personalities, these things that can't be quantified, so to speak, but they're just there. You just feel them. Well, what I feel about this mate is that it's very just solid. It's very sturdy. It's very square. It's very boring. It's like an erudite. It's just somebody who just studying and just, they're good. They're cool. You love them. They have knowledge, but they're just kind of sort of like myself, just to tell you the truth. So maybe that's why this mate is growing on me, because it kind of relates to my personality. I am somewhat of a square person, This mate, you're not going to get any crazy astringencies, hardly any bitterness. You're not going to get that green herbaceousness that you would get from, say, Mission Yerba Mate, or even Eco Teas Yerba Mate, or even some Guayaquil Yerba Mates. You're not going to get that sort of herbaceousness. No, this mate, to tell you the truth, is more like cardboard. You're drinking almost like if you could imagine cardboard with almonds and cashews and this sort of mineral flavor, chalky flavor going on. That's really what the situation is with this mate. Now, the thing that I like about this mate, even though it has this sort of monochromatic personality, it's this square personality, what I like about it is that it's just very consistent. It's one of the most consistent tasting mates I've ever experienced. When I say consistent, I mean the flavor. When you're drinking this mate, you're just going to get that clean line flavor of consistency. It's not going up. It's not going down. Now, mind you, that is fun to experience mates that do that, like La Rubia, Ascension, even Del Cebador, even Jamangu to some degree. They kind of jump around. They're kind of bouncy, buoyant. This mate is just flatline. It's very manageable, I would say. It's very to the point. It's direct. It's blunt. It's not trying to impress, in my opinion. This mate is just like, here, this is what I am. I'm just a simple mate. There's no frills. There's no dancing around. It's just here. It's just a simple mate. And to its credit, it's kind of cool because it's just simple. If you want a simple mate to kind of bring you back to center, maybe you already visited Paraguay and tried all those crazy kaleidoscopic flavor profiles jumping all over the place, cherry, tobacco, what have you. And maybe you went down under to, Misiones region, Argentina, and you already had the Cruz de Maltas and the Rosamontes and the Nobleza Gauchas and the Missions and all those sort of standard classical Argentine mates. But now you kind of want to jump in between and find a mate that almost has slightly gaucho characteristics, I would say. Now, when I say gaucho characteristics, I'm talking about aged yerba mate grown in Brazil, southern Brazil, for the Uruguayan market. That's a very important distinction, guys. Remember, Uruguay does not grow their own yerba mate. They outsource that to southern Brazil. However, those Uruguayan companies obviously own those companies still, and that mate gets imported back to them, exported from Brazil, and then that's it. And then Brazil has their own local market, which is where we get into the Erva Mate, super powdery green, fresh yerba mate, the Chimarrão yerba mate, grown for the local population. I distinguish the two as gaucho yerba mates and Erva Mate or Chimarrão yerba mate. So this kind of has a little bit of a maltiness to it. I would say it has that sort of creaminess to it, but it's very muted. It's kind of in the background, definitely not in the foreground, which makes this mate somewhat sophisticated to some degree, even though this is what I would lump into the class of simple mates. It's just a simple mate. It's not a complex mate, but it has these sort of noble, sophisticated, elegant characteristics. Now, let me share my screen. Let's talk about the cut. All right. So that's the bag, the red bag, traditional Amanda Yerba Mate. Now, this company makes several brands, or several variations, rather, of this brand. We're talking about today the traditional one, the red bag. Now, I should also make note that this mate, if you look into this company La Cachuera, you'll see that this company actually takes good care in the production of this mate. This mate is grown in these sectors or these regions of Misiones called Santa Maria and La Negrita. These regions, if you look into them, they're actually sort of ecological reservations, so to speak, where the natural flora and fauna, the natural wildlife and plant life are actually allowed to intermingle with these crops, which in my opinion definitely influences the taste, influences the energy even more so when the plant is allowed to actually commingle and cohabitate with the native animals and plants, other plants. So you almost kind of taste that with this mate. You kind of taste that primordial elemental characteristic to this mate. This company also takes care in not using pesticides. Now, they do use pesticides to some degree, but they try to limit that severely. And when they do use fertilizers, they always try to opt for organic fertilizers over conventional fertilizers. So that's something to take note of with this company. I always like to hear about companies that care about the chemicals and that care about the plant, care about the animals. That's always a plus in my book, in my opinion. Now, the nose of this mate, the bouquet, it has some sweetness to it, soft. You're picking up on a little bit of bisquick. Bisquick is a term I've been using lately to describe a scent signature, a smell, an aroma. And the bisquick I'm referring to as the pancake batter mix in North America. It's probably all over the world, but we grew up with it here in North America for sure. Bisquick. It's very subtle, neutral, almost like a airy, wispy, gentle aroma. Nothing really marked, nothing really distinguished, I would say. Let's get into the cut. The cut, classical Argentine yerba mate cut. I would say, relatively speaking, it has slightly more palos, which gives you that sweeter taste, as you guys know by now. For those of you that don't know, the palos, these white twigs right here, they actually help to balance the mate. Some people, I would say, mistakenly say that these palos are just fillers. They just kind of take up space and they don't lead to anything good. I would say you're halfway right. If you do look at some brands of mate like Jesper. Jesper is a brand I haven't spoken about in years, but Jesper is almost, I don't know, it looks like it's about 60% palos. Hardly any hojas, hardly any leaves. In that case, yes, I would say your argument would be halfway correct, saying that the palos are fillers. But in my opinion, a good mate, or at least a good Argentine mate, should have a good combination of palos, these white twigs, with pulverized twigs and leaves, which is called polvo or powder, and of course the hojas or the green leaves, what you see here. That's what makes the cut or the composition of the yerba mate. You guys have probably seen videos of me talking about what the cut is and how the cut changes the different flavors of mate. That's another story. So here we go, classical Argentine cut. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. Looks good. I would say it's a nice composition. Perhaps if this mate had a little bit less, if it was a little less heavy on the palos, maybe the taste would kind of have more character, in my opinion. But for what it is, I think it's a decent mate. Is it a mate that I'm going to jump up and joy about and run to the store to get? No, probably not. But it is a mate that I can see myself now drinking, every once in a while, of course. When I get tired of all the crazy flavors of other mates, this is a mate I'll probably start to enjoy from time to time. So what else can I say about this mate, guys? That's pretty much it. Decent mate. It is what it is. Nothing too crazy. Like I said in the introduction, if you want to kind of rebalance, so to speak, your palate and bring it back to something kind of pasty, something kind of midline, then Amanda would be a good fit for that. Now, I wouldn't recommend this mate to new yerba mate drinkers, only because, in my opinion, it's going to give it's not going to give the best impression of what yerba mate really is all about. This is more of a niche brand, I would say. It's more, you know, in a class of its own for somebody who is already seasoned, somebody who's already familiar with the wide diversity of flavors of yerba mate. Then when they come to this mate, they'll appreciate it more because they'll say, okay, this is just simple. But for somebody just getting into yerba mate, I personally wouldn't recommend this brand because it doesn't have enough pop. It doesn't have enough character to really impress. I like to impress people when I'm giving them yerba mate to kind of really show them what it could be about. Well, with that said, I think this is a decent yerba mate. Decent, you know, it's not going to surprise you. And it's also probably not going to disappoint you if you are already a seasoned Matero, seasoned yerba mate enthusiast. But for the new drinker, nah, wouldn't recommend it. Wouldn't recommend it. So yerbamateland.com, guys, is where we have the reviews on the actual website. Let me show you that for a second. All right, let me find that. I should have these things set up already before I do this. Here we go. All right, let me just show you the website. Just so you know that on the website, there are actually many reviews. This is an ongoing thing. Tons of reviews on this website. When you want to experience other yerba mates and you're curious about other popular brands, I would highly recommend checking out yerbamateland.com. And on the top of the page, you're going to see this link that says "Read some reviews." Now, we don't sell these mates. We just remember, guys, we're just trying to share information with the world. So we're not always necessarily going to sell these mates. That's not to say that we won't in the future, but more so than that, the objective is share information. This information just out there. I mean, you could go to any website and buy these yerba mates, but you know, this is just another addition to educating you on what's going on with yerba mate. People who are involved with Circle of Drink and Yerba Mate Land, which is really encompassed in the Circle of Drink community, to simplify things. We love yerba mate. We love different brands. We love experiencing the different effects, the different flavors, the different characteristics, the different personalities of yerba mate. This is an ongoing thing. In my opinion, this is a lifestyle, really. It's not so much like, okay, let me have a cup of tea. Let me go to my friend's house and have a cup of tea, or let me go to Starbucks and get a coffee. You know, nothing against those things. I do those things, but correct me if I'm wrong, but for those of you guys who have been drinking yerba mate, you know what I'm talking about. You know that yerba mate carries this special energy to it. Okay. You know, just as an example, when I was drinking Union the other day, I did this review a couple days ago. Every single time I was drinking it, I was thinking about all the fun I had with people in Argentina drinking this yerba mate. The connection of those days drinking this yerba mate with awesome people was just brought to the forefront of my mind. Mate, in my opinion, is one of the only teas that does that. Ask me how, I don't know. I don't know how it does it. I call it magical. So I definitely implore you guys who are watching this video who may not be familiar with yerba mate, just do some Google searches. There's tons of information online. Go to circleofdrink.com. Come on over to yerbamateland.com. Watch our videos on YouTube. Find us on Facebook. Find us on Instagram. Find us on Twitter. Find us on Pinterest. All those websites. And spend some time, and you're going to learn about this powerful herb. And I guarantee you, you're not going to be disappointed if you really give it a shot, if you really give it a chance. All right, guys. So this has been another review. Dave Mate. It's been a pleasure, guys. I really appreciate everything. Appreciate the support. Have a great 2016. Thank you so much. Drink your yerba mate. Peace. Salud. More videos to come. All right, guys. Be well.